Good morning, fifth graders. It is our third YouTube video for fifth grade science, and this one is going to be somewhat of a review of the topics in the chapter because you'll be taking a test this week. It is an open book test, but please be thorough and complete in your answers. If you watch this video, there's also extra credit at the end of the video. So if you stay and watch the entire YouTube video, you're going to know what you have to do to get some extra credit on your test. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you had a blessed Easter. I know it was probably different for you than normal, probably because most of you practicing social distancing probably didn't go anywhere for Easter this year. So I just hope that we remember the reason that we had Easter, because Jesus raised from the dead and conquered sin, death, and the power of the devil, so that we don't have to worry about what's going on in the world because we know that we're all saved and we know that God's got this. In the Bible, over 300 times, God tells us, do not worry. And so I'm asking you today, don't worry. We will be together again soon, whether that's this school year, whether that's next school year, or who knows. But we will be together soon. And I ask you to keep working hard and to keep doing the things that you've been doing because you guys have been doing a really nice job. So today we're going to be talking about living things and the kingdoms. And also, we're going to talk about viruses, which are not living things. So, here we go. Let's look at our little PowerPoint here. Living things, kingdoms, and the non-living viruses. All right, so again, as I said, there's going to be extra credit on the test at the end of this YouTube video. All right, so if we start out with plant versus animal cells, there are 5 main differences that I want you guys to know by the time you're 6th and 7th graders that are different between animal and plant cells. Okay, I have a picture of both plant and animal cells on here. You probably can't see them overly well, but they're both there. And here is one of the first differences. The shape. If you notice, the animal cell is more of an egg or circular shape. The plant cell is more of a rectangular shape. And we'll be getting into a little bit next year about how those shapes what those shapes are actually doing and what those shapes mean. Okay. The second difference is plant cells have a cell wall. Cell wall is the outer covering of the plant cell. It also has a cell membrane inside the cell wall, so it has double covering. Plant cells have double covering to protect them. The cell wall and the cell membrane offer protection. It allows certain things in, and it keeps certain things out. The animal cell, on contrast, only has a cell membrane, as you see right there. So the difference between a plant and an animal cell so far is the shape. One is circular and one is rectangular, and the other one is plant cells have a cell wall. A third difference is plant cells have chloroplasts, and chloroplasts are these little green things here, and they're green for a reason. They house chlorophyll, which is what makes plants green. If humans or animal cells had chloroplasts in them, we would be green, like Gamora of Guardians of the Galaxy, or like Marvin the Martian from Looney Tunes. But we don't have chloroplasts or chlorophyll, so we are not green. All right. The fourth difference is the animal cells have lysosomes. Lysosomes are up here. That's these pink things here. Lysosomes are actually garbage collectors in the cell. The animal cell has lysosomes go around and collect the garbage, and therefore the garbage is then being able to be sent out of the cell. And then the fifth and final difference that we need to know is that plant cells have a very large vacuole. That's this thing right here. The vacuole is what holds water and food in the cell. And plant cells need lots of water and lots of sugar that they create themselves, so they have a large vacuole, whereas the animal cell has a couple different little ones. Okay, so those are the 5 main differences between plant and animal cells. All right, now we look at the classification of living things. We know that there's 7 levels of classification: kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. What I did for you is I put a little chart on here to show you humans and each of their roles in the classification of living things. So a human, for instance, our kingdom is Animalia. We are grouped with all other animals in the animal kingdom, okay? Then our phylum breaks us down into chordata. Chordata means we have a backbone. So that separates the vertebrates from the invertebrates. Then we go to class. We're mammals, which separates us from reptiles, amphibians, other things like that. Our order is primate. Basically means we can stand on two legs. Our family is Hominidae. Our genus is Homo. And our species is Sapien. Now, each creature on this planet that's living, whether it's a bacteria, whether it's a plant, whether it's an animal, all has a two-word name. Whatever the genus and the species names are, is the scientific name of that creature. So we are considered Homo sapiens. We are the only Homo sapiens in the world. There are Homo erectus and other things like that with the word homo in them, because the genus might be the same, but every organism has its own genus species combination. And so we are Homo sapiens. The buttercup is the Ranichuus acris. Okay, a very interesting name to say. And so each creature, again, is classified through these 7 levels all the way down to its genus and species name. All right, we have 6 kingdoms of living things. Now we're not worried about anything that's not living. We have 6 kingdoms of living things. The first one being protists. Those are like the algae. Algae are not plants. Okay, algae can be plant-like, it can be animal-like, or it can be fungus-like. And that is based on how it basically eats. Plant-like protists will make their own food. Animal-like protists will hunt their own food, and fungus-like protists will absorb their own food. And so therefore, we have 3 different types of protists. Then the next kingdom is fungi. Those are your mushrooms and molds. These are the ones that always get their food from other organisms. Okay? If people have mushrooms on a pizza, somebody might say, well, I had vegetables on my pizza. Well, mushrooms are not vegetables. They are fungus. Okay, which is the same thing as athlete's foot and other things like that. They're fungus, but they're good to eat, a lot of mushrooms. Again, don't ever pull mushrooms out of your garden without knowing what they are. Then there's 2 different types of bacteria. Okay, we have eubacteria and archaeobacteria. Bacteria can be useful and it can be harmful. I'm not going to ask you to worry about the difference between the 2 bacterias right now, just that they are 2 separate kingdoms. But you need to realize that you have millions of bacteria on your tongue, in your mouth, because some bacteria are very helpful. There are bacteria that help us to digest food. Okay. Then the plant kingdom is broken into vascular and non-vascular plants. Vascular plants are the ones that can grow tall because they have tubes in them that will carry water and food throughout. And then there's non-vascular plants, the ones that stay low to the ground, like your mosses or your ferns, because they are closer to the ground so they can absorb the water right there at that level. And then animals were broken into vertebrates and invertebrates, those with or without backbones. All right, well then if we look at mammals specifically, we have 3 types of mammals. The first one is called the marsupials, or the pouched mammals. See the little baby kangaroo inside mom's pouch? So any mammal that carries their baby around in a pouch is called a marsupial. So that would be things like possums and kangaroos, okay? The second group of mammals would be, look at how cute that little duck-billed platypus is animals that lay eggs. Mammals that lay eggs. This is not birds, but it's mammals that lay eggs. One of the characteristics of mammals is it has to have fur. It also has to have mammary glands. Well, this does, and it is called a monotreme. Okay? And then the third group of mammals are the placental mammals. Those are the ones that you're most common with. All your dogs, your cats, your humans, your monkeys, your gorillas. We are all considered placental mammals. So we have marsupials or pouched mammals. We have monotremes or egg-laying mammals. And then we have placental mammals, mammals that have placentas where their young are born in the placenta. Okay? It's really neat how kangaroos have babies. They have their baby, and then the baby, it's born naturally outside the body, and then the baby blindly climbs into the pouch and finishes its development there. Okay? Now, viruses are not living. They do not belong in any of the 6 kingdoms. Some common viruses are cold, chickenpox, HIV/AIDS, and unfortunately right now, the coronavirus, or COVID-19. Most viruses are accompanied by a sneeze and a cough. Well, how do viruses, if they're not living, how do they affect us? How do they work? Well, they get into our body through an opening, either an open wound, our mouth, our nose, our ear, okay? When they're in our body, they enter into the cells. They disguise themselves and they get into our cell. They pass through the cell membrane and they get in. They basically attach themselves to something that the cell wants. Then they take control of the cell activities by getting into the nucleus. They give instructions for that cell to produce more virus, and then they fill the cell with the virus until the cell can't hold anymore and it bursts open. And now all those new viruses invade other cells, and the process starts over as it starts to take over all the cells in the body, and the virus now takes over. And doctors have to try to figure out how to cure the virus. What you need to realize is a lot of people think that antibiotics are used to cure viruses. That is not true. Antibiotics do nothing against the virus. Antibiotics are used to treat bacterial infection. So if you end up with a virus and you tell the doctor, give me a antibiotic, it's not going to work because antibiotics kill living things and viruses are not living. Okay? So that ends this presentation today. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope you all have a great day. Don't forget to write the extra credit on your test. Submit the test back to me as soon as possible. God bless you all and have a great week. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.